Almost broke my back there. Okay, Laker fans. What the hell's going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys being a part of the show, Laker fans. Look, I got to also represent today. You know what I mean? Got to also represent for my SDSU Aztecs as well. Back in the Sweet 16, 2 years in a row. Last year in the National Championship. This year back in the Sweet 16. Unfortunately, freaking same matchup. They got Connecticut again. Thank you for being a part of the show, Laker fans. I know the score was a little ugly there. I know that got probably a lot closer than any Laker fan wants to see. I get it. I understand it. Probably not ideal. Giving up 46 points in the fourth quarter. I get that. I understand that. But Lakers over the Pacers, 150 to 145. I actually kind of want to walk away. I think there's a lot of positives to talk about. I think there's some good things to talk about. I think seeing some of the guard play today with D'Angelo Russell not in the game. How the hell are the Lakers able to put up 150 points? That's crazy to me. But this is kind of the team that they've become. You're not going to win championships, obviously trying to outscore teams like that. You got to get stops. You got to play defense. But for now, this is what the Lakers are doing. And they're going to probably ride this out for as long as they possibly can. So a lot to get into. Let's get right into it. If you're out there, I see all the comments that are coming in. If you got some comments, you got some thoughts on the game, please feel free to throw them in there. If you got any super chats 100% are going to get read. And I'll just throw this out there right now just because I know we usually do it at some point. We'll do some roll call. So if you want to put where you're tuning in from, feel free to do that. Put out where you're tuning in from, the city, the state, the country, wherever it is. I'll give you guys a shout out as we get through the show. All right, let's get started here. 150 for the Lakers. Damn, that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points for the Lakers. I got to be honest with you. I thought this was a very dangerous game tonight. I actually had my doubts when I saw that. I thought it was going to be a battle, a really tough game. And the moment I saw that D'Lo was not playing tonight, Lakers were already 0-5 without D'Angelo Russell in games. I actually thought there's a very good chance they're going to end up with an L in this one. So coming into the game, I thought Indiana had an impressive win. Who was their last impressive win? I think they won at Golden State. This was a few nights ago or so. They had an impressive win there. And they're just a team that I know they got the second best offense in the NBA. You got Pascal Siakam, who they traded for. You got some other role players. They're one of the deepest teams in the NBA as far as how many players they use off the bench. Lakers at times inconsistent, sometimes play with their food, like the game against Philadelphia where it comes all the way down the end. Hell, we should give Philly more credit. They beat the Clippers earlier today. That's either a good Phillies win or just another Philly win or just another bad loss for the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll get into some NBA stuff a little bit later. But nonetheless, I thought this was going to be a real challenge tonight. It wasn't a cakewalk. There was a point. Let me find when I tweeted it out. I sent out a tweet. Probably overreacted a little bit, but I sent out a tweet talking about I thought the Lakers, once they went up 16, 17, whatever it was, I thought they were playing really nice game against a tough matchup and kind of were starting to take control of the game and things were starting to look good for the Lakers. And once I sent out that tweet, that was basically at the end of the third quarter. Indiana put up 46 in the fourth quarter, but Lakers had a big enough cushion where, obviously they end up winning the game. I'm sure a lot of these guys probably played a lot longer than they wanted to, but nonetheless, Lakers made it happen. So good win for the Lakers. A couple things that stand out to me, and I think this is probably the most important thing that stands out to me more than anything else. Guard stepped up. Anytime you lose a player the caliber of D'Angelo Russell, we know how important D'Angelo Russell has been for the Lakers. And Michael and I were talking about it in the pregame show. We thought that Dinwiddie can actually, that's kind of a unique opportunity for him. if they would have started a different player like Torian Prince or something like that, you'd be like, why are you guys doing that? Just put Dinwiddie in the starting lineup, please. But Darvin Ham didn't overthink it. Spencer Dinwiddie had 26 points and 5 assists for the Lakers. By the way, a couple block shots, a steal. We've been talking about how Dinwiddie, a much better defender than I thought. I know there was no defense tonight, so let me stop trying to pretend like, there was a player there that got defensive stops. But 150 to 145, you almost had 300 points between the two teams. There was no defense. But Dinwiddie played 35 points for the Lakers tonight. How about this? Got to the free throw line 8 of 9 times. 9 times, made 8 of 9 of his free throws. 8 of 11 from the field. Hit a couple of threes. Okay, Austin Reeves. So let's just stay with the backcourt for a quick second. Austin Reeves, 6 of 13 from the field, 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Between Austin Reeves and Spencer Dinwiddie, those two players took 21 free throws for the Lakers and scored 51 points. So I don't know what else you can ask for from the guard play. Like I mentioned, without D'Angelo Russell, the question was going to be, who's going to step up? Who's going to get those opportunities? And it was Dinwiddie, and Dinwiddie 100% took advantage of it. I remember the last game the Lakers played, Dinwiddie had, I think it was 11 points, but hit 3 threes. And I talked a little bit about it in the pregame show today. I spent a little time talking about how I thought that maybe that was just a sign for Dinwiddie to get into some type of rhythm. Maybe went 3 for 5 from the three-point line, I want to say, on Friday. So I thought that was important. And we wanted to see if, okay, that can kind of, get him going. Could that be something that gets him going? Well, the answer is yes, that can get him going. He's done some things, I think, good for the Lakers on one side of the ball. But tonight, the main reason why I thought they brought Spencer Dinwiddie is that he can be that instant offense. He could go get him buckets, and he was able to do that. And what I liked is he was incredibly efficient. Only took 11 shots, was 8 for 11. And like I said, from the free throw line, 8 of 9. So the man was getting to the free throw line. Shout out to Spencer Dinwiddie. By far the best game that he's had as a Los Angeles Laker so far this year. He was incredibly effective. Also had 5 assists. So he had a fantastic, fantastic game along with Austin Reeves, who, like I mentioned, did a lot of work as well. Anthony Davis, beast mode tonight. 40 minutes of play. Miles Turner on the other side. We've talked about this. We've had some games where AD is going up against Yusuf Nurkic, or let me just use some other, Domantas Sabonis. I know Miles Turner is not those two players, or at least, but Miles Turner can have nights. He can have a night where he's 25 and 12. Like, that's not completely uncommon. AD dominated Miles Turner. 15 of 21 from the field, 16 rebounds, couple steals, a block shot, and he had 36 points. There was a play there towards the end of the game where they didn't throw out a double, and AD, you could just tell the look on his face, just went right to the middle of the basket, right hand, kind of jump hook, and Indiana called timeout. And I don't know what he was trying to say while he was going back to the bench, but it looked like to me like, yeah, that defense isn't going to work. Like, I don't know what that is, but you're not stopping me with that defense. So Anthony Davis obviously making it happen. Braun, 8 of 19, hit all 8 of his free throws. Lakers took 43 free throws, hit 38 of them. Indiana only took 16. So keep that one in mind, because I'm sure there's going to be some people bitching and complaining about that Lakers took that many more free throws. I'm going to actually go let me look at some of the reporters out there, see what some of them had tweeted out, see if there's anything that has some quotes here. I thought that would be obviously good to see if there is anything. Nothing from Dave McMenamin, but Lakers 43 free throws to just 16, and Indiana bad from the free throw line. Pascal only 4 of 8. So AD dominates. LeBron 26 and 10, like I mentioned. The backcourt for the Lakers, fantastic. They had 4 guys score over 25 points. It's the most points Lakers have scored since, what was the date? 80-something. I saw the stat earlier. I don't know if I could find it right now. I can't. Anyways, big-time points from a Lakers team that certainly to get 150 points was pretty damn impressive. I'm going to point out one other thing on the Pacers side, and then we'll get into some of your guys' comments here real quick. Tyrese Haliburton, not that special tonight. It was really Siakam was the one that was doing everything for them, 36 and 12. But Tyrese, his numbers, I think they were saying that he's struggled a lot since his hamstring that he was dealing issues with, that he was out for. So he wasn't as good as he usually is. But they had 8 guys in double figures. They got so many guys that could put up points. They got one of the best benches in the NBA. I was actually impressed with the Lakers bench. I thought Taurean Prince had a nice night with 14 points. Cam Reddish ended up with 7. But Lakers getting anything over 25 points is incredible. And you go add up Indiana's bench, and let's see, that's 31, 41, 42, 49. So Indiana, just another day at the office for their bench right there. Okay, let's get into some of these comments here. Lakers over the Pacers, 150 to 145. We'll get to some of your comments here, and we'll keep this thing rolling here. Let's see. Cam showing his value. He is the lone perimeter D out there. Also, his POA defense. I'm assuming that's point of attack. I'm assuming. All right. So one quick thing here on Cam, and one thing on the lone perimeter D. Yeah, they don't have anybody that plays defense. They just don't right now. And if you want me to be completely honest, Anthony Davis, obviously one of the better defensive players in the NBA. They had a weird game against Philly. They only gave up 94, and then Indiana gave 145. I know Philly has a difficult time scoring. Indiana has the second best offense in the NBA, so there's a reason for that. But I would rather have a team that is more defensive-minded rather than more offensive-minded, the way the Lakers are. But this literally could just be the Lakers saying, look, we haven't had Reddish in a long time. We're missing Jared Vanderbilt. Christian Wood's going to be out for the year, where he was more of just size, just another player that you could have there in size, but also a good rebounder. They might have just punted on the defensive side for now, and then we'll see if they could figure it out if Vanderbilt comes back. But right now, the Lakers are completely in offensive mode. That's it. That's all the Lakers are paying attention to right now. I'm going to get into this in a little bit. So I'm going to get into some of the other stuff that's going on right now around the NBA. I'll do that in just a little bit. I think we got a little bit of time before we're able to do that. If it ain't a heart attack, it ain't a Lakers game. By the way, would you start D'Lo with Dinwiddie and have Reeves off the bench? Dan Inspiration, I appreciate you tuning in. I think we're too late in the game to change anything, to be honest with you. I think the starters that you have are the starters you have. I'm not changing a thing. I'm just not. The only thing I would change, or I would think about changing, is if Vando came back and he was good, and he was comfortable, and he could play, and he's not favoring anything, and he could just be himself. The only thing I would change is I would add more defense to the starting lineup in Jared Vanderbilt, and I'd bring Rui off the bench because they need more help off the bench. But even with that, I would question it because it's just tough right now to gain continuity and change something up this late in the game. After tonight's game, which we're obviously done with, there's only 11 games left. 8 of those are going to be on the road. So, and then you still have, how many? 2 or 3 back-to-backs. The point is that you're not going to have that much practice. You got a back-to-back here. 2 more back-to-backs left. You're not going to have that much practice, and to try to change the starting lineup now, I don't think that's going to happen. So, but I get the point. I understand what you're talking about. And Dinwiddie had a nice game and everything else, but I don't think Lakers are going to change anything at this point. And if you're suggesting Austin Reeves comes off the bench, that ain't going to be happening. All right, let me see what else. Okay, JP. Ham, honestly, is a weak link. His mistakes are too silly. no AD or LeBron to start the fourth. That's insane. Yeah, JP could also just be this, and I know it's not ideal. They got to get their rest too. That there's a reason why the Lakers, I'm assuming they do it. I mean, Bron had to play 38 tonight. AD had to play 40 minutes tonight. I'm assuming, part of the reason why they do what they do is to make sure that these guys can go for the final 8 minutes of the game, or, 9 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever it is, not have to take them out, let them kind of go all the way through. So I think that has a lot to do with it. All right, let's read some more of these here. Couple shout outs here. I did mention roll call. So if you are tuning in and you want to point out where you're tuning in from, I'm happy to give you guys a quick shout out. Temple City, thank you for tuning in. Cincinnati, Ohio in the building. Thank you for being a part of the call, but part of the show. Chris West, appreciate your work, Al. Dinwiddie played really well in the absence of D'Lo. He was fantastic. And frankly, to be honest, Laker fans, I really, really actually thought that this was I thought Dinwiddie, when the Lakers initially got him out of the buyout market, I thought the dude was going to kill it here. I'm like, damn, they didn't have to give up anything to get Dinwiddie. I'm sure he could have got more buckets somewhere else. I'm sure he could have been more of a focal point on offense somewhere else. But the Lakers sold Dinwiddie on, come here, try to win. We don't have a backup point guard. I remember once the trade deadline ended, I had asked Rob Pelinka about what kind of player they were targeting in the buyout market. And he said, our number one priority is a backup point guard, and then best player available if we can't get a backup point guard. So they got their backup point guard in Spencer Dinwiddie, and he certainly stepped up and made it happen. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Jags are a good stat here. Lakers 15-7 since the start of February. 68% winning percentage. Yeah, that will get it done. It's weird because they have kind of quietly just kept winning games. I give them tonight and the last two games, I actually give the Lakers a lot of credit for. I know they're supposed to win these games. Trust me. I mean, you look at this schedule in March, they basically have not been on the road other than one road game in Sacramento. They haven't been out on the road since February 26th. I mean, almost a full month of just hanging out here and getting that home cooking. But part of the reason why it was tough to notice that is because they lost those two games against Sacramento. They lost that game against the Golden State Warriors. To go 3-0 against Atlanta, Philly, and Indiana, I know they're all home games. I know you're favored in all these games. And I know you're supposed to win them. But I've seen the Lakers trip and fall a lot of games this year. They didn't do it in either three of these games. And I thought tonight was the most dangerous one. I really did. We got a lot to talk about with that road trip coming up, too, because that's on its way here. So we got a lot to get into on that. All right, let me see. Yeah, I think Tracy is the perfect example here. Why does that 15-7 not feel like 15-7? I'm with you. I'm with you. But, let's give credit where credit's due. It's 15-7, period. It's 15-7. I think it doesn't feel like 15-7 is because they're still ninth in the standings. She really didn't make up ground. Maybe they were 10th, and now they're ninth. So that even with winning all these games, you got a lot of teams in the Western Conference right now that are 10, 11, 12 games over 500. So maybe it doesn't feel like as much of an accomplishment because of that. And this stretch coming up here of all the road games that they're going to have, that's really going to be kind of the determining factor for the Lakers. University of Newcastle, thank you for being a part of the show. Rochester, New York in the house. Thank you. Bronx, New York. Denver. Diamond Bar. Anaheim. Newport in the house. Thank you for tuning in, Brandon. Rec League Slee. I like it. Man, Man, I would keep the lineup as is until the playoffs when a matchup is required. You can't change anything right now. We're too late in the game. You just can't. Like, honestly, you cannot change when you're this deep into the season. To start screwing around with that starting lineup, it's not going to happen. D'Lo's going to come back. He'll be in the starting lineup with Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Period. Dinwiddie, you got a little bit of confidence. Cool. Go make it happen coming off the bench. That's your job, right? That's what you're supposed to do. Is go make it happen when you come off the bench. I think on top of that, too, we talked a little bit about it before. If Vando eventually makes an appearance, only 11 games left. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm losing faith that that's going to happen. It could still very well happen, but only 11 games left. You let another week go by. Look how crammed this week is for the Lakers, okay? He's not coming back in the next week. I think we could all say that. So one more week goes by. It's Milwaukee, Memphis, Indiana, and Brooklyn. A week and a half goes by. Add 2 more games to that, Toronto and Washington. So you could be looking at a situation if he comes back in a week and a half or 2 weeks, you're down to 4 or 5 games left. So, yeah, there's not going to be much changes from that perspective. All right, let's keep going here. Lakers can quietly win 8 of 11. That wouldn't be quiet because I'd be pretty damn loud if they win 8 of 11. We'll see what happens in this road trip. This next road trip is going to say a lot. A lot. I think I said Utah in the house. A couple more spots here that are tuning in from everywhere, and I appreciate it. Laker fans obviously everywhere. Colorado Springs, the Philippines. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of the show. Portola Spring, California. Thank you. New York City in the house. Tokyo. Thank you for hanging out. Tokyo, where's my invite, bro? I've been to Tokyo twice. No invite. No, hey, come over, Al. When you come to Tokyo, come hang out, Al. Let me show you around, Al. Here's the train station. Here's the best place to get this type of food. Come on, Tokyo. Australia in the house. Thank you for tuning in. India. Little Italy, Santa Ana. North Koala, if I said that right. I probably didn't say that right. Hawaii in the house. Thank you. Vancouver, Canada. Thank you very much for tuning in. Manila, Philippines in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. West Covina. Always appreciate you guys hanging out. Okay. A couple more things I want to get into. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, we got Vegas in the house here. We got Rolling Hills, California. Okay. A few things I want to get into here that I think is important to point out. By the way, Lakers over the Pacers, 150 to 145. Lake fans, if you got a topic, a question that you want to ask me, you got a topic that you want me to get into, or you feel like is a really good point to start the conversation, feel free to put it in the comments. Sammy is hanging out in the background, so he's organizing all that. Appreciate Sammy. He's been working on these pregame videos that I hope that it's been very insightful and helpful. He's always got 3 different points before every game, so I appreciate him doing that. But he's in the background doing that, so feel free to do that, and we'll keep the conversation going. Lakers put some pressure on some of these teams in front of them. So let me tell you what I mean about that. I'm, obviously talking about the standings here, but this is the latest of where we're sitting, Laker fans. This is the latest, and I'm going to share this. I'm going to share my screen here real quick with you guys on the standings because nobody else has access to the standings. It's basically just me. Like, you guys basically need me for the standings, or you got no shot. I have an insider that gets me the standings that nobody else can get. All right, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. 39 and 32, 7 games over 500. This is what I mean by the Lakers continue to put pressure on the teams in front of them. If they'd have lost tonight, I'd have told you that 9th is the highest that they're getting. They're not getting any higher than 9th because you just don't have that many games left. Tiebreaker already goes to Dallas. Tiebreaker goes to the Sacramento Kings. But by just kind of staying in the hunt here, the Lakers are still putting pressure on some of these teams in front of them. But here's what's happening right now behind them. Golden State is just in a full-blown collapse. I don't know what to tell you about the Warriors. They lost against the Pacers a couple nights ago. That was at home. They lost against who did they lose to tonight? At Minnesota, where they had like a good 8-10 point lead and then gave up the lead and then had to come back. I mean, Minnesota's still doing work and obviously fighting to try to be atop the Western Conference, even without Karl-Anthony Towns. But the Lakers got a little cushion here. Where the Lakers sit and where the Warriors sit, Lakers now a 2-game cushion in the loss column of the Golden State Warriors. So Lakers have won 3 in a row, 6 of their last 10. Golden State going the other way. They've lost 2 in a row, 4 of 6. This is big here. It's just giving you a little bit of breathing room. That, I mean, listen, you want to get out of the 9-10 period because you don't want to be in this. You got to win 2 games just to get in the play-in tournament. And that's a position that the Lakers are in right now. But they're creating a little bit of cushion here. And then if anybody is watching what the Houston Rockets is doing on the other side, Houston doing work. The hell is going on with the Houston Rockets? 35-35. They've won 8 games in a row, 9 of their last 10. They're absolutely balling out. And I think Draymond Green, let me see if I could find the tweet or the Draymond Green had said something. I don't think I could find it. Oh, I found it right here. He said something about what's going on with the Houston Rockets and their, looking to catch up. Here's what he said. They're looking to try to grab the last play-in spot. He said, I don't give a damn about the Rockets, about asking about, them potentially catching up with them, that he doesn't give a damn about them. And frankly, I don't blame them. They are the Golden State Warriors, and they are a team that has won 4 NBA championships, and they are sitting in number 10. So, but it makes the bottom more interesting because now it's the Golden State Warriors could actually potentially fall out of this mix, and Lakers could get the Rockets in a play-in tournament game rather than the Golden State Warriors. I mean, I would still prefer the inexperienced team or the team that I don't think has, been there and done that. But the Lakers, I also feel like, can handle the Warriors on any night. I mean, they almost beat them without Anthony Davis. With AD, I don't know. They're very inconsistent. They're very Jekyll and Hyde. So that's what's going on right now in the Western Conference. Look, here's the only issue with Dallas, Sacramento. Lakers just got to keep winning games. They got to go 4-2 on this 6-game road trip. So they got a 6-game road trip coming up. They got to go 4-2 to keep that pressure on the Kings, the Mavericks, and the Suns. I keep saying this, that Phoenix is the one I feel like is most vulnerable. Phoenix has the toughest schedule left in the NBA, and you go spend some time on Phoenix's schedule. This schedule is no joke. Look at this. At San Antonio. All right, get after that one. At Denver, at OKC, at New Orleans. Home against Cleveland, Minnesota, and New Orleans, and the Clippers. At Clippers, at Sacramento, at Minnesota. All these teams are fighting for something. All these teams are fighting for seedings. All these teams are fighting for, the right matchup and everything else. So the team, in my opinion, to watch for is Phoenix. Plus the Lakers do have the tiebreaker against the Phoenix Suns. But it doesn't mean anything unless you're winning games. So I'm going to go back to that. Unless you win your own games, it literally doesn't mean jack, what. So handle your own business, and then you could worry about some of these other teams. All right, let's go into some of these comments here. Take a look here what we got, and then we'll keep going. Gerald, Lakers are back. I don't know if I go that far, but listen, they're starting to make a little bit of noise. I think I like the records that you guys said from February 1st. That's the right record to say they're 15-7. Because if you'd have told me on February 1st, hey, are the Lakers going to go 15-7 in their next 22 games? I'd say you're crazy. Why? What would make you think that they're going to go 15-7 in their next 22 games? That doesn't make any sense. What would be the reason why you think that? How can you justify that? So, but they're doing some work now. I want the 7 seed so bad. Hopefully OKC gets that number 2 seed. By the way, that's the other thing that I forgot to mention, and this is just kind of the world of the Lakers right now. OKC lost at Milwaukee today. Denver continues to win. They're 8-2 in their last 10, won 3 in a row, blah, blah, blah. Denver's the number one seed again in the Western Conference. Denver's trying to pull the number one seed. They are. And one of the scenarios that can potentially happen, which is kind of crazy to say, and this is very discouraging to put it this way, but it's just the reality. Lakers would have to win 2 games in a row to then get Denver in the first round. That's discouraging, but that's kind of the path the Lakers are probably down at this point. We'll see. That's why I think everybody would love to see them end up in that number 7 seed, right? Because now all of a sudden, or they just want OKC to be the number 1 seed. It's like one of those two things to happen. I will say this. Look, whether you play Denver in the first round or you play them in the Western Conference Finals, you're going to have to play Denver, period. So kind of is what it is, right? I don't think the Lakers would get swept by the Nuggets, but I don't think the Lakers would beat the Nuggets. If you play the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have a legitimate chance of moving on to round 2 and potentially avoiding Denver until the Western Conference Finals like last year. So I think that's safe to say. Lakers are not worried about no Houston. Lakers are too locked in. Hashtag Lake Show. I'm not talking about Houston as in worry about Houston. I'm just saying Houston's come out of nowhere and they're back in the picture. And that was not the case at all a couple weeks ago. Why do you think Austin Reeves is so atrocious at defense at times? It's like he's half asleep or clueless. I love the guy's a player, but damn. You know what I think it is more than anything, Xavier? Just to be honest with you, I think he gives what he can, and that's just what his abilities are. Like as shifty as he is and the ability to kind of make some noise on the offensive side and to be able to drop 25 like he has, to be able to kind of come out of nowhere in the NBA and be a legitimate player and get himself a 4-year contract with the Lakers, you're going to have liabilities. And his, liabilities are clear. Very, very clear. The good thing about Vando, he doesn't need plays run for him, so even if it's at the end. That part's true. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to point out right there. I definitely agree with that. That's a really, really good point out there that ultimately at the end of the day, if Vando does come back, you're basically just saying, hey, that's Jamal Murray. Can you run with him for 30 minutes a game? Or that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Can you run with him for 30 minutes a game? Or you're in the play-in tournament. That's Luka. Or you're in the play-in tournament. That's De'Aaron Fox, right? That's basically what you're asking. All right, let's see what else we got here. Warriors play Rockets, by the way, on April 4th. So we might be getting down to the wire. And some of these teams might be still trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm going to point this out here a couple times. And I, for those who don't know, I'm a San Diego State alum. San Diego State. Very impressive today. Up 30 to get to the Sweet 16. So I appreciate everybody. I know I see some of these messages here. I got some people out there giving some love. So I appreciate you guys giving the love. This is great for the university. And just as important for me, you guys know where I'm originally from. I'm born and raised in San Diego, California. So I love San Diego. I'm very appreciative of my city. And that's big for the city when you got a run like this going on there. They need something like this. So very happy for San Diego and very happy for San Diego State. So they're killing it. So I appreciate those that are putting out the SDSU love. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, now we got to go play UConn in Boston. How'd they get a home game? How'd they get a home game? They're already the number 1 overall seed. They need a home game? The F. All right, let's get some more of these comments here. Thank you for the super. I appreciate that. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's see what else we got here. I want to do a quick little next game for the Lakers. So next game for the Lake Show. Actually, no, I'm not ready to do that. let's give some love to one of our partners here. So as you guys know, and I've told you guys many a times before, that Underdog Fantasy is a proud partner of Hoopstock here. Very, very happy to have Underdog be a part of the show. It's kind of cool. In the off season, I kind of knew that there were some different things that I was going to learn on the channel. I was going to pay a little bit more attention to the business side of the channel. And I reached out to Underdog Fantasy, and they were all ears of like, yeah, go ahead. Tell us what you're thinking. They love the idea and the concept that I've been doing this post-game show for a long time. So their partnership / sponsorship really helps me do things that I didn't have the ability to do before for the channel. So I appreciate their partnership. If you play daily fantasy sports, use the code HoopsLA. If you use that code HoopsLA, you'll get a deposit match of up to $100. Can I just show you guys how easy it is to play here? I always do pick'ems. I always do pregame as in games coming tomorrow, and I always do NBA. So I already picked 2 games tomorrow and 2 players. It's so easy. You just pick stat projection minimum of 2 players for tomorrow's game. So these are all the games coming tomorrow. I took Devin Booker against the San Antonio Spurs. I took Luka at Utah. So I just got to pick higher or lower than 26.5 points for Devin Booker. I'll go higher in that game. Luka at Utah, 33.5 points, higher or lower. I'm actually going to go higher on both of these. I don't usually go higher on both, but I'm going to go higher. That's it. I submit my picks. I put $20 in for a chance to win 60. These are my picks. My entries are in, and I'm good to go. So, again, just use that code HoopsLA if you guys want to play some daily fantasy sports. It certainly helps out the channel as well. Okay, now I could do a quick little preview here of the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. So, here's what's crazy about the game coming up. It's Lakers Milwaukee, right? I got that schedule right. We double check here. 6-game road trip coming up for the Lakers. Now, here's what's a little deceiving about this road trip. I'll get into Milwaukee first, and then I'll talk about some other stuff after that. The Bucks are the Bucks. They're 46-25. They played the Oklahoma City Thunder today and crushed them. 118-93, the final score. They're finally healthy. Keep in mind there. Coming from. All right, I don't know where the heck this audio is coming from. Okay, so Milwaukee's finally healthy. I'll tell you what I mean by that. It's so easy to pretend or forget how good Chris Middleton is, how important of a player he is. Last time Lakers played Milwaukee, if you guys remember, Middleton didn't play in that game. Neither did LeBron. Lakers still got that win. That was a game D'Lo went off for 44, 45, whatever he had. Milwaukee's got everybody back yet now. So they played Oklahoma City today and won by 25, I think it was, 118-93. Giannis dropped 30 and 19. Middleton had a triple-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. The guy doesn't necessarily need the ball. He's just a really smart, good basketball player. Damian Lillard, obviously doing what he does. Not that he had a great game. They got a lot of dudes off the bench that can score. So it's a big challenge coming up. It's going to be a big challenge coming up it's going to be a big challenge coming up on Tuesday, period. Like, there's no other way to put it. There is it's going to be a big-time challenge. It just is. That's how good, that's how talented, that's how tough the Bucks are. And I think the Bucks are going to have a little bit of, they're going to want a little bit of payback, I guess you want to call it. So Lakers got that win, and it was a 1-point win. And at one point, I'm sure Milwaukee thought they were going to get the game. That's just a tough game. That's just no other way to put it. It's going to be a really, really tough game coming up. I think the more important thing to point out here, which is why I think this road trip it's kind of tough to predict here, because I said they need to go 4-2 on this road trip. Okay, if they're going to go 4-2, let's say they lose to the two teams. Let's say they lose to the two teams that record-wise, you would think are the toughest matchups. So that'd be Milwaukee and that'd be Indiana. So you got Milwaukee on Tuesday, Indiana on Friday. So let's say they lost both of those games. So now you got to win the second of a back-to-back on Memphis on Wednesday. You got to beat Brooklyn on Sunday. You got to beat Toronto on Tuesday, and then a second of a back-to-back against the Washington Wizards on Wednesday. The only point that I'm trying to make is, even though the schedule looks favorable, there's going to be a lot of tough games in the process for the Lakers that are not going to be easy games. They're just not going to be. That second of a back-to-back at Memphis, that's probably not going to be an easy game. That could be a dangerous game. The Indiana game, I think that's going to be a tough game. I believe it will be, and that's going to be the third game of the road trip, and Indiana's just going to try and run you up and down the floor. And then, John Ireland was saying today that when they go Toronto and Washington, second of a back-to-back, he said the Washington game, they're not even going to check in until about 4 a.m. in the morning because they got to go through Toronto customs. It's just it's a scheduling challenge is the way that he was trying to put it. So the 6 games that they got coming up, I know there's a lot of people saying, hey, you know what? These are very, very winnable games, which they are. But I also think that it's going to be a challenge because it's the road. Do you guys know what the Lakers, what their record is on the road? They're 12-20. 12-20. And they're not in a position where they could play, 500 basketball or something like that the rest of the way. They're certainly not. Anaheim in via Southgate. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it, buddy. Don't sleep on Memphis revenge for last year. Yeah, Memphis also just got Desmond Bane back. So all these teams, by the way, you guys know this. Every team that plays the Los Angeles Lakers, there is a little bit of they want to stick it to the Lakers. There is a little bit of they want to go up against LeBron and Anthony Davis, and they want to do everything they can to try to beat the Lakers. Lakers, all these East game road trips that they have, all these games on this East game road trip, every team they're playing that's it. They get to see the Lakers once a year, so those games are always very important for them. All right, let's see a couple more comments here, and then we're gonna call it a night here. It's already been 42 minutes. The hell, time is flying here, Laker fans. Lakers are heating up. Don't doubt them. Just have to stay focused, of course. All right, so we got a few here. I think you guys know what I'm talking about here. I think overall, Laker fans, I would just say that, they're 7 games over 500. So they're obviously doing something right. There was a point in the season, and I can't tell you exactly when, but it doesn't feel that long ago where there were a few games below 500, and they still felt like now they're still 9th in the standings. They're still 9th in the Western Conference. I understand that, but at least they're winning some games. At least they're looking like they're getting into somewhat of a rhythm. They beat some good teams. They beat some bad teams. There's sometimes it looks incredibly sloppy. There's other times it looks a lot better. I think tonight they only had 10 turnovers a game before they had 21. So is it inconsistent basketball? It is. Do I think the Lakers are going to go March to June and end up winning a championship? Probably not. It's not looking like that, but they're starting to be more competitive, and they're able to string together some more games. And all you could do is just start putting a little bit of pressure on some of those teams that are in front of you and handle the business that's in front of you. So you can't really do anything more than that. Okay. I got a couple things that I'm going to point out here real quick. So tomorrow, I'm going to do Lakers Talk on radio, and then we're also going to live stream it here. So keep that one in mind. We'll do that. Sammy is going to be doing a video that I'm going to try to post probably sometime, after 2-3 o'clock, something like that. I'm going to try to post Sammy will have a preview of the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. So keep that one in mind. Then we got games Tuesday and Thursday. So I'll have content pretty much most of the entire week here. I am still working on how's this schedule going to look. I got to get it figured out, but yeah, I got to get it figured out. Try to have something set up this weekend as well. Trying to do another one of those podcasts, so we'll keep it going from there. So I got here, Lake fans. Don't forget, I got Travis and Sleewa show tomorrow as well, so that's coming up at 10 a.m. So appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out for 45 solid minutes. Thank you for being a part of the show. San Diego State in the Sweet 16. Lakers over the Pacers, 150 to 145. Shout out to Sammy Long in the background. Thank you, Lake fans. Have a great rest of your night. Appreciate it.